Hey everybody, this is Mike, and you're watching the Reelblack podcast. And with us today, I have a very special co-host. I'd like to introduce to you, Miss Tesa Williams. Hey,
Hi, hey.
how's it going?
Everything is
And
going well, Mike D.
a lot of you may know Tesa as a performer. We have our music video on the channel, the Whitney Houston cover, and talk about that for a second.
Yeah, Just the Lonely Talking. It's with Mark Nelson. Look him up. He's an amazing singer, writer. You guys probably know who he is. But I'm looking forward to doing some more recordings with him, as well as a release that will be coming out of my own. Check me out on Instagram, Tisa
Yeah.
Williams Music.
Okay.
And
Right there.
we will keep you posted. But
Right.
I'm looking
But
forward to today's guest.
yeah, we have an opportunity. We just have an opportunity to speak with the great Luenell, stand-up comedian who's going to be performing this weekend at Helium Comedy Club in Philadelphia, which is August 26th through the 28th.
Yes.
So without further ado, let's get into our conversation with Luenell. So welcome back. It's been a little while since we had you on the show, but
Yes.
I want to make sure people knew that you were coming to Philly, and I guess you're making a little East Coast run.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
you'll be at Caroline's the following weekend, Labor Day weekend.
Yes, that's true.
So
Caroline, New York City, that
in
is.
New York City, yeah.
Caroline's on Broadway, as they say on Instagram.
Yeah, I was in New
Right.
York. They have your picture plastered right all along the building. So
As they should.
They
absolutely.
should, because you've got a lot of great style.
Thank you.
Your jewelry, your hair, you're beautiful.
I'm a lot. It's a lot.
I love it.
So I mean, we have about a half hour to chat. I mean, we've talked in the past about the need for Reelblack to have more women comedians on. You've gotten into on me on about that. So we've made a concerted effort, and but I'm really curious about your origin story, like how you got started in comedy, like when you knew you were funny, and how this career has projected itself
Well, we're
into
not going to do that for the sake of time because it's a long, convoluted story that starts 30 years ago.
Okay.
And I've done at least 100 interviews explaining that story. So let's not do it here.
Well, let's
Nobody
not do
really
it.
cares about how you got started. It used to be a time when people cared. Nobody cares no more. But we can talk about, you know, parts of the journey and stuff like that, for the sake of time and stuff. But my how I got started is a long. There's no way to tell it in a short
In a
way.
short amount of time. Okay, well that's fair. Just you're like Paul Mooney. You just threw away my first 5 questions are now
I
in
was
the trash.
Paul Mooney was my mentor. So I am very much like Mooney in a lot of ways. People may understand or may not.
Well, I want to ask something. Although we're not going to go into the history of how you got started, when did you know you were funny? Because I know, like, I'm one of 9. So there was like a lot of humor going on within my family, and certain ones stood out. And are you from a big family, a small family? And were they the ones like discovering how funny you were, or how did it all begin there?
Well, clearly you don't follow me on Instagram because if you did, you would have seen my whole entire family reunion that I just came home from Monday. So I am the 8th of 8 children. I'm not by any means the funniest person in my family. I'm just the one who got a chance to do this professionally. Um, I don't think that I was always funny. People tell me I was always funny, but I think that's a lie because I remember a time when I was very sad as a child and not funny. And I went to all white schools as one of only 6 or 12 Black people there. So how funny could I really be?
Gotcha.
You understand where I'm
Mhm.
coming from? So I think that the funny that I am just came from sarcasm
Mhm.
and that we have a sharp tongue in our family, you know, and you have to have pretty thick skin to be around any of us.
Yeah.
So I think that, but I don't really have a moment of clarity when I knew I was funny though.
Right. And a lot of times it is other people that will tell you or bring it out of you. You know, we don't see it ourselves, but they'll think it's funny, and you're just being yourself. So I
Yeah,
understand.
like people will say, "How you doing today?" Today and I'll be like, good as I can be, and they'll fall out laughing. I'm like, "What did I just say that was funny then? Like, what are you
Right.
talking about?"
Exactly. You're just being you, but you are
Right.
naturally funny.
And I'm really low key shitty, so that's
Mhm.
kind of funny. A lot of people are attracted to as well because it's sort of a mind game of wits. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't do the dozens, and I've never done really that. I just got asked to do Wild and Out again. I've already done it twice. I was
Yes.
like, no, because I'm not going to. I'm grown, and that show is not for grown people. That show is for young adults.
Mhm.
And I might make an appearance on there, but I'm not going to get on there and be battling back and forth with nobody. That's not what I do. Because the stuff I would say, you're gonna get real pissed off about. Somebody might want to shoot me. So I just prefer not to do that anymore.
So Luenell, who were some of your influences then, besides Mr. Mooney?
Well, like yeah, Mooney, of course, Richard, of course, Joan Rivers, who was always very curt herself, Roseanne Barr, obviously before the breakdown, LaWanda Page, who was very dirty, and people don't give her the props for her little filthy mouth because she masked it with Christianity type thing. She
Mm-hmm.
did a lot of Bible stuff, but turned it real naughty.
Right.
And Sam Kinison, George Carlin,
Yeah.
Lenny Bruce, who went to jail for being the way he was. So I don't like to chuckle. I like to laugh heartily. I don't like to
Mhm.
make people chuckle. I like people to like spit their drink out type thing. So I really go, I just go hard. But I think that I'm really not even trying to be a comedian. I really, as the eighth of eight kids, you being from the big family teacher,
Hell yeah.
I want to be heard. I have things I want to say. So I'm really just talking to people as my friends.
That's fun.
And if you find it funny, great. And I can make it funny. But during my show, it's not all about being funny. I'm also speaking on, the state of our educational system
Mm.
and some of the racism stuff, and I throw that in there, and I've done it. I've done stuff about DC in DC in front of
Mhm.
white folks that got a little uncomfortable. I could not care less because the same door you came in, you could walk out of that. Ain't nobody making you stay in the seat. You ain't gonna get no refund.
That's
Preach.
that's right. That's right.
Preach. So, in terms of your process in writing, do you sit down and write paper, or like what's your process? Like a lot of people I know, Chris Rock does bullet points and then he just goes up and riffs.
That's
Like,
exactly what I do. I've never sat down and write. I've never sat down and written any material in my life.
Mhm.
I feel like if you do that now, you're going to be scripted and you're going to be using your page as a crutch. Mm, you don't have the freedom to free flow if you write it out. I mean, some people work that way, and
Yeah.
that's great. And that's why I don't give any advice on how do you do this, how do you do that, because everybody's process is different. But
Mm.
me, I just like I'll see something and say, uh, talk about being in the waiting room at the doctor, you know, and then I'll just go. I'll formulate stuff in my mind, and
Mm.
I don't go out and try material for a special. I just do it. Like
Just
I could do my Netflix special today,
mm,
and I could do it tomorrow. I could do it any day I wake up because I'm just fearless in that way, and I don't bite my tongue, and I just think about things. I was on a bus one time, and I remember hearing these old ladies, and they were talking. They were like talking about they were talking about their ailments. you know, Girl, I got this bursitis is killing me. Girl, I know what you mean because my knees is They crack every time I walk. Sound like popcorn. Girl, you know, Beverly down the street just had a hip replacement. Oh, I know, because I got this tendonitis, you know, and I was just, I'm like, oh, that is hilarious to me. So I just hear things and see things and talk about that.
Right. The realness of life.
The realness of life.
That's right. Have you ever performed any material that someone wrote for you? Or have people?
No, never. I've never had a writer.
So
No.
you are just coming from your soul and coming from
my soul is a good way. Yeah. It all comes from my soul. Because like I was talking about, okay, so the kids were out of school during quarantine. And you had to continue to teach your children or their mind is gone right now, right? So some people went back to work and some people didn't. And the people who didn't and maybe started businesses or whatever, I feel they should continue to teach the homeschool their kids because A, school ain't safe. B, the kids are out of hand. C, they're threatening teachers with guns. D, they're bringing guns to school. And more importantly than all that is that it came out what we already knew, and that is that the whole education that all of us on this show right now, the education we got was a complete and total lie. Not some of it, but all of it.
Yeah.
And you can't erase Black people from the history of this country. You can't erase gay people from the history of this country. You can't erase Mexicans from the history of this country. But the white people have tried to do that with the statues, with the books, with the religion, with the Christianity. We didn't have Christianity when we came over here. We had our own religion. We don't have a religion. We don't have a language. We don't have nothing. We don't even know if our birth dates are actually our birthdays. So now they have not changed the curriculum in the school. So now you open the school and you take your kids back to school and they're continuing to teach the same bullshit they was teaching before it came out publicly. And in Texas and in a place like that, they're trying to erase the fact that slavery ever happened. They don't want to say the word. They don't want to have critical race theory. So I say in my act, and I don't give a damn who gets comfortable and uncomfortable, because I hope that you're laughing, but you're listening.
Yeah.
And I hope that when you get in the car, you know, you go see an Earth, Wind & Fire concert, and in the car on the way home, you're like, oh, God, Maurice was amazing. I love when they sang In the Stone. That's my song. I want people to talk about the show when they get in the car, when they leave from seeing me.
That's right. I've always admired your provocative style of comedy. You know, you make people think, like it provokes thought, even if it's,
I hope so.
Hey, you put it in a little package. If they don't like exactly the way you're saying it, I think it will make them think later, because that's what it's all about at the end of the day.
I hope so.
But you're right. I mean, speaking about schools and like the way the curriculum and all that is, it's so much truth to that. Do you think there's any particular thing do you think it starts with the home, with the parents? What do you think as a whole, especially as Black people, that we should do? Just touch on that really quick, because I think coming together collectively has been the problem. Like we come in
what
little.
I think it starts with is books. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Books.
Love
you
books.
remember that old adage they used to say, if you want to teach if you want to hide something from put it in a book.
Put it in a book.
If you read, you will find out things. But people don't read no more. I keep a book on my bed. I keep a book in the bathroom. I collect books that I used to buy from Esselwan bookstore, which was a Black bookstore. It's now closed. A couple of weeks ago here in Leimert Park in LA. And I will only buy my books from a Black bookstore. I'll find another one because they need our support, the Black bookstores. And there is a lot of information on the internet as well. But you have to dive for it. You know, you have to look for it, because I would rather show you people getting beat up by the police. They'd rather show you twerking. They'd rather show you, dance moves and nobody's interested. If the parents aren't putting it in the kids early, that this is what this is what Kwanzaa is. This is what, CMOS is. If we don't start with them early, by the time they're 7, 8 years old, we done lost them, they're gone.
So we're talking with Luenell, who's going to be at the Helium Comedy Club this weekend. We're talking about
I
August
sound like
26th.
Farrakhan right now. I don't sound
August 26th
Like
to
I'm
the
gonna be doing
28th.
comedy, but I
No,
am.
well,
I'm
you
coming,
you
silly.
opened that door, Luenell. So the next question I have is, when did you first realize that you were being lied to by this educational system?
Well,
By the
as I said,
Matrix.
my education was in all white schools. You see, I only went to black schools until I was in third grade. Then my parents moved me to the suburbs of Oakland, a place called Castro Valley High School. And
Mhm.
I knew it from the littlest thing. Like I wanted to do theater. There came a time when I wanted to do theater and stuff. And I realized I could never be the lead in any of these plays because the white girl's going to always get it. I'll only be the background. I'll only be the cast. So it's little stuff like that. And then where I lived, and then I learned about redlining, and then I learned about more stuff. And then I got more curious. And I don't know when I turned into such a loudmouth radical, but I wouldn't change it because somebody's got to speak on this stuff, somebody that people want to listen to. You can try to feed kids everything, but if it's not from somebody they want to listen to, it's going to go in one ear and out the other.
Mhm.
So that's why I try to do my comedy, but I throw a little bit in there as well, you know?
And you said you moved to California, but you're from Arkansas, right?
I was born in Tollet, Arkansas. I want you to
Oh,
go on my Instagram page and scroll back and you
yeah.
start
Oh,
seeing all these people with shirts.
yes.
You know how you do the family reunion with the
Uh-huh.
t-shirts?
I
When you
can do.
start seeing all that, then you'll know. I'm the eighth of eight. I was born in Tollet, Arkansas. My grandfather's house, allegedly on March 12th. I didn't get a birth certificate for a few months because I was born, at home with a midwife. And then through a bunch of circumstances, I got adopted out of the family into my family. But how people go send you with grandma and stuff like that. That's what happened to me. But the rest of my brothers and sisters remained growing up in
And at
Arkansas.
what age was that?
I was 2 months old. I was gone.
Oh, okay.
And
Mm.
they had got rid of me.
And you went to the Bay.
And I came to the Bay.
Okay.
And I've been in Los Angeles for it was 20 years. I think it's really more like 22 years I've been in Los Angeles. And I was raised in the burbs in a beautiful home with swimming lessons and ballet lessons and all that. But the theater company I wanted to go to was in Oakland. And then when I went back to Oakland and was doing theater and was hanging out and all that kind of stuff, when it came time for me to move, I moved on my 18th birthday, gone. I moved where I could afford to. So of course I moved to the hood, but I found a weird sort of comfort there being around my people. I could smell barbecue on the 4th,
Right.
Juneteenth, by the way, is what
Mhm.
we're celebrating now.
Mhm.
I could find the incense store. I could find the hair grease that I use. I could find the shea butter that I wanted in my community, as they call the hood. Hood doesn't mean ghetto. Hood means neighborhood.
Yes.
Mm.
And so then when I moved from Oakland, I moved to another place I live in the Crenshaw district. And I've been happy here for years. Ain't nobody scratched my car. Ain't nobody broke in on me. Ain't nobody done nothing. I really think like my hood protects me because they know what I do. They know who I am. There's a way to move in the community. Even as you elevate, you have to don't floss or front off people, embrace your neighbors. I give out cookies to my neighbors at Christmas time. The guy who moved across the street, he brought me vegetables from the garden. You don't think about that when you think about the Crenshaw district, but that is what we're doing down here. Now, I want to move at some point, not because anything's wrong, but I just need more space. So I'm going to move, maybe up to a hilly area or something, but it ain't going to be far from here. And I'm definitely not moving to the San Fernando Valley because I'm not trying to. We like to be in the yard. Black folks like to be outside. We want to play cards. We want to play dominoes. We want to barbecue. We want to be loud. We want to play music. We want to have fun. And I can do that down here all night long, just like the Mexicans and stuff up down the street. I don't need nobody at 9:01 calling the police on me because I'm fucking playing Luther Vandross on 8.
That's right. That's right.
So
You got to
I
be.
both y'all need to stand down.
Well, I was going to ask you that. What kind of music do you enjoy?
Well, I enjoy a little bit of everything because of the era that I grew up. I can listen to Chicago, Santana,
Yeah.
Genesis, Earth, Wind, and Fire, the Isley Brothers, Houdini,
Mhm.
um, Eric B. and Rakim, EPMD. I listen to some of everything. The Beatles, the Stones. I listen to everything.
Love it.
Very well rounded musically.
Yeah.
And you answered a lot. I was going to ask you those questions about your upbringing because I'm one of 9 and I was raised in an all white area still.
What number are you in?
I'm number 5.
Oh wow.
I land right in the middle. You're number 8. I heard you say
I'm
that.
number 8.
You're number
But
8.
how many boys? How many girls?
There's 4 boys and 5 girls.
Jeez.
So I'm the 5th. So I'm smack dab in the middle. But I caught all the everything. But I was going to say that there are some people that grow up in areas and it affects their life in a way where they may have a level of confusion as to what I've seen it in my life. I was around my family a lot, and I was going to say you have not compromised at all who you are. So
If anything,
you
I'm
share that.
blacker. If
Yeah,
anything, I'm
yeah,
blacker for
because you
having lived
connected.
in the burbs than uh, than I would have been had I just stayed. And I'm also
Absolutely.
glad for the experience because there's nothing that I have to read or nothing. I have white friends, very select ones. They're the allies. They're the woke folk. They're not the
Mm,
colonizers. You feel me?
gotcha.
And but even with that, there's certain stuff like we see on the ground that I send to my black friends. I'm not sending to my white friends. They just
Mm,
won't understand. And I'm very glad for my education. I have a
mm.
bachelor arts degree in English lit. That's why I sound very well read. And I must admit though, I don't read like I used to because I get about 25 pages in and I'm like,
Yeah,
I'll fall asleep because I'm so
yeah.
tired all the time. I wish I could read like I used to. I used to could sit down and read a novel in a day, but
Wow.
I don't read like that no more. But I do still try to pick up a book.
Yeah, for sure. Well, you have a lot of life experience too, so you have a lot of references to pull from in your comedy and in your just everyday life, I'm sure.
Yeah, I got a lot of life experiences. I've been incarcerated. I've done drugs. I've been, I've done the rape thing, the incest thing, all that shit. Everything
Wow.
I've been through, there's no way that I should even be a comedian. I should be in a mental ward somewhere. But I take all the anger that I
Mhm,
have and I throw it out on the stage. I I I
mhm.
I, I use that when I'm talking about education. I get mad and I
That's
take that anger and I put it out on the stage.
yeah.
Um, and there will be a book and a documentary is being done right now on the low. Nobody really
That was my
knows
next
about that.
question.
Yeah,
Mm,
because I do got a story to tell.
Yeah.
You know, it ain't
And
all smiles, honey, all the time.
I hear you. Well, a lot of people know you from your movie roles, and I think that you steal every movie that you're in. You know, and I love what you're doing. I guess Block Party is the most recent thing.
Well, absolutely not. The
No.
most recent movie I did was called oh yeah, Block Party. Yeah, Block Party. And I just
yeah,
shot something for
21.
Hulu the other day. And of course, so far I'm on that series uh Hacks that's on HBO Max starring Gene Smart. But yeah, Block Party is the last movie that I did. I'm really proud of that too. Because that's
Yeah.
the first who had a black female director. It's the first movie dealing with Juneteenth
Mhm.
since Juneteenth became a holiday. And then you tell people that, and they go, "Oh, is this about history?" No, it's a comedy that teaches as well, just like me. Plus, I got a chance to work with my girl Golden Brooks from Girlfriends, and I
Oh,
got to work with the great Margaret Avery.
right.
Yeah.
And Margaret
Wow.
has said that she wants to do more comedy because she's so stuck in that Suge Avery role. That's what people think of her
Yeah.
as. but she's really very randy and very funny, and you get to see it in that movie. And we thought about Margaret because on the set, like I felt like her dressing room was inadequate. They had a bed in it, but it didn't have no sheets on it, didn't have no
Mm.
blankets on it, didn't have no flowers in it. And I told they asked about that. I said, you know who the fuck this is? She may not be that important to you, but she's super important to us. You need to do better. The food was horrible. So me and my cousin Shay Sugar, we cooked and brought food to the set. She was very glad about that. Everybody was. And hair and makeup, the people that got it. And I felt like it was really hot. They were making her walk too far from the vehicle to the set. I'm like, no, no. And we have
No.
to fight for our people. You know, we have to shoot. We have to fight for our elders. You know what I'm saying? Everybody
Absolutely.
take care of their elders, but Black folks lack a little bit. You know, they quick to throw somebody in the rest home. When we got to take care of our own folks, you don't see them Asians throwing their grandma and them up in the rest home. You don't see them Mexicans throwing Tia and shit up in the rest home. They'll take care of them. And it's very difficult. It's very heartbreaking. It's time consuming. Nobody wants to see your elder with dementia or nothing like that. But you want somebody else to take care of them?
Yeah,
Mm.
definitely
If you
something.
do anything, hire somebody and have them come in, you know,
Mhm.
so you can watch them. We got to take care of our elders, and dying young is not the lick. These kids be dead at 22, 24 years old, never had a child, never finished their education, never going to
Mhm.
walk down the aisle, never going to have grandkids. And they want to say, old ass Luenell, old ass LL Cool J. Oh, you better hope and pray
Right.
that you get to
Right.
be old. You better pray that, because life is worth living for me.
Love it. So what's it like being in the movies, being a movie star?
It has its advantages, you know.
I love the way you just said that.
It
Some
has its
mystery
advantages.
behind it.
I can get,
Yeah.
you know, there's one thing being a movie star, and there's one thing being a movie star. Like, I'm not a movie star.
Mhm.
I've never had a role that was mine. I
Mhm.
just pop up in movies. I'm the pop up queen. That's what I call myself. I've never
Right.
carried a film. I don't feel like a movie star, but
Right.
I am absolutely a celebrity.
Yes.
Um, and so with that, you know, you get a little perks. You might get the better cut of meat at the butcher. You might get the table a little quicker. You might, you know, there's stuff like that. But then also there's the drawbacks. You know, it's difficult when my daughter and I go out certain places because my daughter says she has to go into security mode then.
Mm.
She has to, you know, got to protect my mom, and
Oh
while she's
yeah.
running up on my mom, and when she would rather just go out and just be with mom, you know. So
That's right.
if she's gonna take me someplace, it has to be a certain type of place. It has to have certain places I sit. I'm very picky about that. Don't put me on a host role in the middle of the restaurant. I need to be in the cut. Whoever sees me, you know, and stuff like that. So it has its advantages and its drawbacks, but I wouldn't change a damn thing.
Right.
I wouldn't change a damn thing.
I can't blame you. I always hear Patti LaBelle say when they stop being interested, that's when it's over. So she will like sign you. She's just speaking of how she'll sign everything. Are you like that? Like no matter where you are, will you stop for that fan and that person that really admires you?
Not all the time.
Not all the time.
I don't
I'm
like people to stop me if I'm obviously on the way to the restroom.
gotcha.
I have to go to the bathroom.
Yeah. 'Cause-
And don't ask to take pictures in the bathroom. This bitch just shit over here. I don't want to be in here. I have to come out of the restroom. So why don't you just wait till I come out the restroom?
That's
Since you're
right.
gonna ambush me anyway. I don't like you to bother me while I'm eating.
Mm-hmm.
If you're there when I'm finished eating, you can get me. You
Mm-hmm.
know, and I can be kind of curt and rude sometimes, and I don't want to be that way. But sometimes you might, you know, I'm human. And then when I was in Toledo for my homecoming family reunion,
Mm-hmm.
I took every picture with everybody because number one, there's only 240 people in the town. Number two, 100 of them are related to me.
Mm-hmm.
Number three, they don't see me all the time. I have made them proud. I'm in the African American Museum in Little Rock. You know, there's nobody. If you Google famous people from Toledo, Arkansas, there's only one name. It's me.
That's
And
right.
I've made them proud. I owe them that. I was born from that soil. I may not have been raised there, but we only do these every 2 years. So everybody that asks me, I will take a picture with when I'm at home. And I try to do my best. And I don't like parents to push their kids on me. Oh, my daughter want to know if she can take a picture with you. Your daughter is 4. She don't even know what the fuck I am. And if she do,
That's right.
she shouldn't. Because everything you would see, that's another thing. People don't have the thing that we grew up with. When grown folks are talking, get on up out the room.
Yeah, yeah. I had that.
Don't be in my face when grown folks are having a conversation. You're not privy to everything. You're gonna find out everything in due time. And just because I'm sitting watching, anybody, don't mean that you should sit in here and watch it with me.
Right.
But parents are really lax in that, and I'm like what they said. My child saw you in That's My Boy. Well, in the movie That's My Boy, I had prosthetic boobs and they were out through the whole movie. So why did you let your child watch that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
parents have to definitely take
they need
responsibility.
to do better, step up.
Yeah.
But we lost a whole generation, to the crack thing. So
Yeah,
we're still recuperating from that. We still recuperating from slavery. White folks don't want to talk about it. But when you have a nationality of people who have lived through documentation of children being ripped out of mothers' hands, and they buck busting the men in the middle of town. Some people don't even know what buck busting is. And when we have that, there's never been therapy for Black folks. We only just started talking about depression and therapy, I feel like, in the last 5 years.
That's true.
And we all need, God knows, I need some therapy. I have separation issues. When people come into my life and I love on them and then they got to go or they move away, it messes with me. I'm like, why did I put my emotions into this person that is just gone?
Yeah.
Probably I ain't got no boyfriend right now.
That's right.
Oh, yeah. Wait, is that breaking news, Luenell?
Huh?
Is that breaking news?
No. Yeah, that's breaking. Well, I'm married, but
okay,
there's a but. Okay. My husband and I got married in 3 weeks. Later down the line, he had already had a drug history I didn't know about. We separated for 13 years. We got back together when I found out he had prostate cancer. I didn't want him to die, and I helped him through that, and we're still cool. But he don't live with me. He lives in Texas where his daughter can take care of him. So once again, I'm alone. Nobody to roll out the garbage cans. Nobody to fix this. And he's an electrician. He could have this place on the clapper if I wanted him to. But he's not here.
Right.
So,
alone but not lonely.
So is that the toughest?
No, alone and lonely.
Okay.
Two-part question. One, I mean, like you said, this 30-year journey. I mean, was there ever a point where you thought about leaving comedy? And then 2, what is the toughest aspect of being on the road and traveling as a comedian?
Well, the first question, have I ever thought about quitting? Yes, of course. I think also when, when you see people pass you up that you feel aren't as dedicated to the craft, they're just doing it to get a bag, that hurts. Because I did comedy for a year. See, these kids are coming into comedy and getting paid in, less than a year. I didn't get any money for at least the first 20 years I did comedy. Because I started before there was any Blacks on TV regularly. I started before there was a Comic View, before there was a Def Jam. And so there was no money. I did it because I loved it, because I love people and I love the art of comedy. I love the freedom of it. You're your own director, your own writer, your own producer, your own critic. Nobody telling you what to do. They can't do that in comedy, and I love that. The hardest part about doing it for me is because I'm a mother. And I've missed some very important events for my daughter.
Now you only have the one daughter?
Or do you... One and done, honey.
It's one and done?
I can educate one. I can house one. I can get cars for one. One.
That's
I don't know
smart.
how people do it. Plus, they just don't build uteruses no more like your mama and my mama had 8 and 9 children. They don't. These girls would fall out in the street. They would fall in the street when they got pregnant 8, 9 times.
You know it.
Plus, who can afford it these days? But yeah, I that's difficult, and I get very tired, and I can't go see anybody that I want to go see. I can't go to a Whispers concert. We all perform at the same time, even if we're in the same city. I can't go. So I've missed so much. I want to go to concerts. I want to go see Mount Westmore. I want to go see, my girlfriend Layla Hathaway. I want to go do things, but we're all performing at the same time, so I can't.
Yeah.
Right. Well, we're almost at that time. Tesa, any final questions?
Yeah, I mean, as far as women in comedy, there's a lot of upcoming women that want to be comics. Is there any advice you could put out there for them?
I don't know if they want to be comics or they want to be celebrities.
Good question. Good.
So there's that.
But for those that are true to it, that feel they have an edge and they may be around people that, because a lot of times when you discover your talents, other people are telling you, hey, you should do this. And people have had success, by following that at times. So those that are real with it. I think a lot of times with artists, they forget about the business side too of what's going on. So just 1 or 2 words to speak to that. Or
the only thing I would say is take care of your business. Like, pay your taxes so that when you do get stuff, the white man don't come take it from you. Be kind to the people that work with you and for you.
Mm-hmm.
Be kind to them. And be kind to yourself too. If you need to take some time out, take some time out, because your people will work you to death.
Yeah.
I've seen it happen. If you feel like you need 3 weeks off in April, tell them I'm gonna need 3 weeks off in April, because at the end of the day, they do work for you. You don't work for them. So, and then just try to be original and be yourself. I think that the way to connect with audiences is to be yourself, be authentic, so
That's
that
right.
they feel. Because people want to feel like they know you.
That's right.
But I really don't give advice because don't nobody really want to hear it.
Well, everything you said, that could be applied to just life. Those were some really good points,
Yeah.
But definitely being true to yourself.
So are there any roles you'd like to play?
I would love to get into that, but I'm rolling over into another interview right now. And I gotta go.
Okay, fair enough.
I'll think about that question. Now, ask me when you come see me. When you bet, Mike.
Yeah.
You better come see me in Philly. And Tesa, I definitely want to hug your neck. And
yes, indeed. Cheers to
shout
you.
out, my girl Patty Jackson, WDAS Patty Jackson.
Patty.
So everybody, WDAS, I'm hoping to see them over there. They've given me a lot of great radio time and stuff. So
Patty's the best. Okay, so once again, Luenell will be performing at Helium Comedy Club in Philadelphia this weekend, August 26th to the 28th, and then the following week.
If you saw this, I want you to tell me that you saw this on your show, and you can hit me on my Instagram, which is at Luenell, at Luenell. Don't spell my name wrong. It's clearly at the top of the page.
That's
right. You got that right. Okay, thank you, Queen.
Thank you. Yes, guys. Cheers to you.
Here's to you, Tesa.
Thank you so much.
They ain't paying me, so let me cover up this tag. Here's to you.
Looking forward to seeing you, Luenell. You're a beautiful woman.
Thank you.
Keep inspiring.
Okay, bye.